Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Destiny video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a walkthrough on how to defeat the final boss in the Vault of Glass, ATHEON times CONFLUX. I also put up a video yesterday on how to defeat the first mini-boss, the Templar, so if you haven't seen that, then be sure to go and check it out. But with that out of the way, let's get down to business. The final boss fight is split into two phases. The first phase must be completed in order to make them spawn, and the second phase is the actual battle. When you enter the room, there will be groups of enemy goblins and hobgoblins and a single gatekeeper in the middle. Your first job is to clear the room. The gatekeeper is the key target here, as without him down you won't be able to open the gates. But the best bet here is to wipe out the smaller mobs first, especially those pesky hobgoblins who can one-shot you, and then take down the gatekeeper. Once he's been taken down, you now shift your focus to one of the two portals. There are two portals located in this room, and in front of them are rings, just like the ones encountered outside the Vault of Glass. When you stand in the ring and it finishes building, it'll activate the corresponding portal. Inside the portal to the left, you will find a Mars-like desert area, a few goblins, a couple of minotaurs, and another gatekeeper. Inside the right portal, you will find a Venus-like jungle zone with a series of goblins and hobgoblins, and again, another gatekeeper. In both portals, once you defeat the gatekeepers, they will drop relics, just like the ones used in the Templar fight. Only this time, the cleansing mechanic is to remove the darkness curse from you, which obscures your vision, as opposed to the oracle curse, which kills you. So that's what you'll find inside the portals, but what do you actually need to do? Well, here's the tactic we ran with, and it seems to be the most effective. Take two of your strongest members, preferably with two good sniper rifles, into the portal, while the other four members of your team remain on the outside. The guys in the portal should aim to take down the gatekeeper as fast as possible, grab the relic and get out. In this case, both myself and my teammate have exotic icebreaker sniper rifles, and with about 8 shots on the gatekeeper, he is down. So we kill him, sprint past the mobs, pick up the relic and get out. We always begin with the left desert portal. This is entirely up to you, but this is how we do it, and it seems to work really well for us. So you can see here that we portal in, move straight to the left, get visibility on the gatekeeper, both of us are sniping him in the eye, and within a matter of seconds he is down. We ignore everything else, sprint past, and myself being a hunter, I'm able to blink past things, so I just blink past the minotaurs, pick up the relic, blink back, and we're out the portal. Meanwhile, the four on the outside must defend the portal and make sure it stays open at all costs. There will be the usual ensemble of Vex and the Praetorian that can close the portal, so manage them and you'll be good. Having 4 people on the outside definitely makes this easier. When on the inside, once you've picked up the relic, communicate with your team and let them know. Ideally, once you've picked it up, someone on the outside should then go and activate the second portal so that as soon as you come out, the relic holder can then cleanse both themselves and their partner and move straight into the second portal. A seamless transition here makes life a hell of a lot easier. Now when you come back from the first portal, a spire will spawn in the middle of the room. And just like in the Templar fight, Vex are trying to sacrifice at its base. At this point, 2 of the 4 should now be tower defenders, while the other 2 should focus on defending the second jungle portal. The relic runners will then move into the second portal. What you should then do is have the person holding the relic fire a super at the gatekeeper, while the second person can then finish him off. Again, ignore all the mobs, move up, grab the second relic and get out. Do this as quickly as possible. If you do this right, then in a matter of minutes you will have both relics and you'll be out. As soon as the relic runners come out of the second portal, everybody should switch focus to the middle. There is no need to hold the portals anymore, so nobody should be at the back of the room. Have both the relic holders fire their super at the spire. Then, from this point on, you then need to defend the spire from incoming Vex, which will now come from both in front and the 2 portals behind you. Your biggest trouble here will be the Praetorians, but as relic holders you can usually stay on top of these. Don't battle them head on, instead jump in the air, press right trigger to perform a ground pound which will knock them back and stun them, then jump away and repeat this cycle. You should ideally take them down in 2 to 3 hits without taking any damage. If an enemy does successfully sacrifice at the tower, a red oracle will spawn above one of the 2 portals. So watch for these, because if you miss them, your entire team will get cursed and you will wipe. Keep this up long enough and the spy will vanish and this phase is complete. Now we fight the final boss. Before I talk tactics, let me break down the components of this final fight. The 3 people that are furthest away from ATHEON will get teleported to one of the 2 random portals. Once inside, one person must pick up the relic, while the other 2 have to take care of the mobs and the oracles. The best way to deal with this is to assign roles. One person is dedicated to oracles, one is dedicated to mobs, then oracles once they clear them up, and one is the relic runner who will then cleanse the team from the darkness and can help out with the mobs if possible. Once inside, there are 7 oracles, all of which must be destroyed before leaving the portal. Meanwhile on the outside, the 3 that remain must fend off waves of explosive harpies whilst keeping the portal open. The harpies spawn on the right side first, jungle portal, then left, then right, then left. The best way to deal with these is to have one person on the left, one person on the right, and have each of them stand on the pillar in the middle of the ring. That way, they get maximum visibility on the harpies, and they are also in the ring keeping it open. The third person can act as a runner, to back up whoever needs help most. Typically, they stick on the side that corresponds to the portal that the other three are currently in. Remember, desert is left, jungle is right. Once the portal team have killed the oracles and returned from the portal, the entire team will have a buff, timed vengeance. This increases your damage output and gives you infinite grenades and supers. During the next 20 seconds, the buff is active and you need to be dealing as much damage as possible to the boss. The best way to do this is to lob grenades. They deal ridiculous damage. Then in between that, by all means fire rockets and snipe him in the chest, but always spam grenades. If you're the relic holder, then you have no option but to use your super. Just fire that super as much as possible. He does move around a fair bit, so obviously you do need to kind of take that into account when firing your shots, but hit him with that super. The important thing to note though, is that you must maintain your positions. So as soon as the portal team return, have them run right to the back of the room first before they begin doing damage. That way, when ATHEON teleports them again, it'll be the same crew who already know what they're doing. Ideally, you should be able to do this in about 4 to 5 rotations depending on the levels of your team and your damage output. An additional tactic, which is extremely useful, is to have the runner in the room be a Titan. Then, when the portal team returns, have them drop a bubble at the back of the room with a damage buff on, that way the portal team can then use this to deal additional damage on top of what they're already doing. And this will be the difference between 4 or 5 rotations. If it takes you any longer, then he'll hit in rage mode, and believe me when I tell you, you don't want to deal with that. So, those are the components, now let me walk you through the flow. First up, the boss spawns. Your portal team of 3 then runs to the back of the room. The other 3 divide. One on the right pillar, one on the left pillar, and the runner on one side. At this point, it doesn't matter where they are, if it's left or right, they just need to be with one of the others and not at the back. The portal team then teleport. Straight away, you let the rest of your team know where you are. Shout desert left or jungle right. That will influence where your runner on the outside goes. On the outside, your guys should now be fighting explosive harpies. If the harpies spawn on the side that you're not on, then shoot across and help your team. Meanwhile on the inside, one person picks up the relic, the next person begins shooting oracles, and the third takes care of the mobs. As the relic holder, if you're confident you can do this without taking damage and dying, then you can help destroy the mobs. But do watch out, you do not want to go down. In the desert, there are 3 hobgoblins which will one-shot you, and in the jungle, there is 1 minotaur and 2 goblins. Deal with these however you see fit, but typically we'd rocket and snipe the minotaur, or grenade and super the hobgoblins. Either way, once you've taken them down, those 2 guys should now be both shooting oracles, and the relic holder will then be cleansing them from the darkness. As soon as the final oracle is down, and there are 7 in total, exit the portal. The portal team will then run to the back of the room. The runner, if a Titan, will deploy the bubble for the damage buff, and you begin dealing damage for the next 20 seconds. Grenades, grenades, grenades. Those are your priority. Once the buff runs out, the portal team are in place, they get teleported again, let them know where you are, rinse and repeat. Get this cycle down to a T and you will be fine. It's just a case of learning the pattern, do this 4 or 5 times and you'll have him beat. And that's all there is to this fight. There is also currently a bug which is going to be patched very soon, or may even be patched by the time you watch this video, which means that when you finish the raid you aren't taken to a post-game results screen. If this happens, just return to orbit. And that's it, that's all there is for this video, and that's all there is for this walkthrough. Hopefully you found it helpful, and if you are getting stuck, then hopefully this will help you through. If you do have any additional questions, then do drop a comment down below and I will do my best to answer them. But otherwise, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the like button, show your support, does really help me out, and obviously don't forget to subscribe for daily gaming videos. Thanks again for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.